Hello, everybody. Thanks for being patient and hanging in there. A little explanation real quick is I haven't done any of these phone calls for a while because if most of you know, or maybe you don't know, I don't know, but my channel got hacked. They stole my email and everything attached to my G1RUMP2 account has been taken down and hacked. Well, it took a lot of work and a lot of conversations between my channel, WrestleMania, Google, and YouTube. And so we finally got my channel back. I don't have my RV channel back, which is a shame. I'm not really concerned about that one so much as I am the main channel, because the RV channel only had 1,900 subscribers on it. But, you know, it's 1,900 that I'll have to fight to get back all over again. When you start over, you can't monetize. There's a lot of things you can't do because you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers. But if you want to, please go there, subscribe, help out, see what we can do, see if we can get going again. And if we can, I got a lot of videos I could put on that RV channel for our trip going up to North Dakota and coming back that I haven't edited or done anything with because the channel was stolen, taken away from me. We're still working on trying to get it back. I don't hold my breath, let's put it that way. So I'm going to start with the new phone calls that we got. I checked that a while ago and I got quite a few of them. I'm not going to be able to get them all on this one video, but I am going to try to address some of them. I haven't heard any of them yet. We'll see what they are and what you have to say and what you have to ask, and we'll go from there. So be patient. If you don't hear your question on this one that you sent in a long while ago, you may want to call it in again because the hacker wiped all that out and I don't have it anymore. So if you don't hear your question answered this time, call it in again. I'll apologize for it, even though I didn't do it. And we'll see about getting those questions or comments put on here. So let's go to question number one. Oh, it's from an old member of mine, Kevin Klein up in Fort Wayne. How you doing, Kevin?
Skip, you suck. This is Kevin from the Fort. Love you, man. Love all your shows. Watch them all. Bye.
Okay, Kevin. Hey, Kevin, you suck. You guys don't get that joke. A while back, I didn't even forget how it got started, really. I think Jose was delivering coffees to a couple of people that watch our videos all the time. They bought a house here in the Villages, a couple of houses actually, and he was delivering their coffee. By the way, if you don't know Jose's coffee, it's Jose.coffee, and get his coffee because I've never heard anybody complain. It's the best. He roasts his own beans, and I mean, they are really, really good. And if you're a Patreon member or Discord member, you can order it right there. Right online. He'll just bring it to you. He delivers it to you here in the Villages himself. But he will mail across the country. And I don't know how far out of the world he goes, but he will mail across the country. But basically, he delivers it himself here. Sometimes he stops and picks me up and we go out and deliver coffee together. Anyway, the You Suck thing, he sent me a video. Jose, I'm talking about. He sent me a video of a couple people, and they said, hey, got my coffee from Jose. I really appreciate it. His coffee's really good. And by the way, Skip, you suck. I laughed my ass off. I thought that was hilarious. He did it twice. So I put it out there on the Patreon members anyway. I don't know about the YouTube. I don't know if I put it out there or not, but on Patreon I did. I said, hey, you guys, if you guys get a chance, make a You Suck video. Hold your phone up and say, hey, you suck, and send it to me. I think I can make a new ending for my videos. I'll make fun of myself. I don't care. And anyway, they all started sending me that thing, and that's what he's referred to as that. Appreciate it, Kevin, I really do. Nothing like starting off with a laugh. Let's go to call number 2.
This is Carolyn and Jim Duncan. We used to live in the villas of Alexandria, and we lived there for 6 years, and we really loved living in the Villages. My husband had cancer and had got put on chemo pills, and he couldn't be in the sun anymore. So we chose to move back to Evansville, Indiana. We have excellent health care here. Actually, there are better doctors here than there were down there. But I wanted to know, we love watching your show. You are the only honest person who really tells it like it is. And we do appreciate watching you. We try to catch you at least once a week. Sometimes we go back and watch things we've missed. But keep up the good work. We really like your show.
I appreciate that. I wouldn't say that I'm the only one here that tells the truth. I have got that reputation of telling it like it is. Let me just try to clear that up just a little bit. Is I tell it the way I see it. You guys keep saying I tell it the way it is. Well, the way I see it may not be exactly the way it is, but it's the way I see it. I've been talking about things for a few years now that I didn't like what I seen and where it was going, without reiterating each and every little point, because some people just go nuts with this. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, I'm not an expert here. I'm just a resident that has a YouTube channel that talks about things that I see, talks about things that I know happened in the past, and I see things going in the future, and what I see for a retirement community. This is reiterating what I'm saying. What I see for a retirement community, I don't like what I see. I don't like where it's going. But I still live here. I don't figure I'm going anywhere for a while. One is I'm 73 now, and I look at life a little different than, say, somebody 53. I don't have the energy. I don't have the time. I don't have the stamina for moving again. And so I just hang. My neighborhoods, I guess, it's not special, but it's different than a lot of the newer neighborhoods down south. They're younger down there. They seem like they have a little bit of a problem down there with some things, but also in the older neighborhood, like the historical area, you see it on the news that I report. They seem to have their little things up there too that are not good, and anywhere in between, those things can spread, and they do. Not too far from where I live is where that guy last year was doing drugs in his mother's house, had his girlfriend in the bedroom. They were doing who knows what godly things in there. And she ended up dying of a drug overdose in her house. He now has been in jail for, I think, a year. I don't think he has a bond, if I remember right. He's coming up for court dates for whatever the reasons are. Probably wants to get bonded out. And I'm sure mommy will do it and bring him back home, even though she knows he's a drug addict, even though she knows he had something to do with that young lady's death in her home. But people just seem like they're oblivious to this. And my mind just says, I just don't get it. I never will. But these are the problems that's happening around here. And I'm sorry, but my mind just says, is this what you expect in a retirement community? I expect things to be kind of quiet, kind of laid back. You know, people getting together on somebody's front porch, having a couple of drinks, just talking about life, where you come from, where I come from, what you do for a living, problems with our children, problems with our grandchildren. That's okay to talk about the problems, but I don't want them problems living here. And with the rules and regulations they got here, it's allowed. I mean, that's the thing. It's allowed. Airbnb is allowed, and they're nothing but a problem up here in the areas. Well, in my neighborhood, they're not a problem. I'll just get that straight. They're not a problem in my area, but they are problems somewhere else. Most generally, it's where patio villas are at, because they're cheap and easy to maintain, and they make them Airbnbs. They're in, they're out, they're gone, and they're just causing a lot of problems for a lot of single ladies around here and single men that downsizes to a patio villa, which is usually 2-bedroom, and it's just a nice place for a single person to live. And now they move into this area, find out that the 3 houses on each side of them are Airbnbs. Parties, noise, because they don't care. They're here to have fun, especially around college break, you know, and northern kids having breaks, and people are always looking for a place for the family to stay because they can't stay in my house because there's too many of them, or whatever the case may be, and they rent these things for a day or two, and it's just a problem. And they're not even really addressing it. They talk a lot. Now district supervisors, the developer and his offices, they're not talking at all. They don't care. They just want to sell homes. That's all they care about. They're looking at the target. How many homes we sell this month? How many's under construction? How many's pending? How many we close on this week? I mean, that's what they care about. That's all they care about is the numbers. And maybe that's all they should care about, because it is a business. But I keep looking. When Harold was here, he was making a retirement community where people could live peacefully and adequately and have some fun on what he called a Chevrolet budget. And I respected that. And that seemed to maintain all the way down to Gary running this place. And then Gary suddenly passed away. And then the 3rd generation took over, and it was almost a downhill slide from that point on. And now you got a 4th generation moving in. And already there's been problems with the health system. $300 some million the government says they owe them. And Katie Bell's is gone. That was the only place that was restricted to residents only. I've been to Katie Bell's many times. People don't never talk about it, but on the second floor of Katie Bell's was the Cattleman's restaurant. I've been up there many times. It was just a great place. It was the one and only place that we really had. And they took that away from us. Why? To boost our profits and put apartments in there. And it's going to continue on because why? Nobody is stopping them. Nobody can stop them, I guess. Now we're in a retirement community, and I still say, whether you agree or don't agree, this is always my opinion, but it's something to think about if you're thinking about spending $500,000 here to buy a house or whatever. Since when does a retirement community have a school in it? I was down there the other day with somebody. I forget who it was. It might have been Jose. It might have been, I don't even know. The younger people seem to make excuses for it, saying, oh, well, it's okay. They're not bothering me. Oh, it's okay. Well, it's a retirement community, goddammit. It's not a part of the public school system. But here it is. It's here. They can zone that whole area off and say that part's not part of the villages. And I think that's what they've done with Middleton. It's zoned off to where it's not part of the villages. It's just connected to the villages. And that's what they do. Did you know for many years, like 20 years, what they call the family compound up there on 466, they had that for years. But if you looked on the zoning maps, it was zoned as not part of the villages. So in other words, they lived in the villages, but they didn't pay any of the amenity fees or anything else because that part was not part of the villages. That's how they get by with some of this stuff. And now, is it bad on all that stuff? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not saying all family neighborhoods here are bad if they're done properly. But a school, that was like the dividing line for me, a school. I will never move down south because of that. Do I have anything against down south? No. I think it's going to be a great area when they're done. I was down there and done video. I haven't posted it all. Most of my videos go to Patreon now. Not all of them go to YouTube. But it's going to be a great area. It's a beautiful area. There's a lot down there to see and do, and there's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a very attractable area. I wouldn't live there because there's a school in there. And that's it for me. You can like it. You can dislike it. But that's just for me. I wouldn't do it. Thanks for the phone call. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my name is Jimmy Oz. And just know they're both starting with Alzheimer's, dementia issues, so they may forget half of what you tell them.
I'm not going to play that back. I'm just going to answer it. And the person if you're watching this, you'll know who you are. I don't call people back. It gets into way too much problems with me calling people back. I'm not the guru around here. I have all of the answers for you. And just so other people know what I'm talking about, he's wanting me to call somebody that's got Alzheimer's and dementia, and he wants me to talk to them because somehow he feels like they're being taken advantage of. I'm not doing that. First of all, if they got Alzheimer's and dementia, they don't know me, and tomorrow they'll forget that I even called about anything. But I do sympathize if they got dementia and Alzheimer's. Only thing I can recommend for you is to call people that actually understand it, find out what you need to have in place, especially if you don't live here, which apparently you don't. If you really want to help, then get them help. And I'm not the person to call. I don't want to sound like I'm being mean about this. I'm not. My father passed away. He had Alzheimer's too. So I understand the situation and I understand the problems of it. But you really need to call people that know exactly what you need to have done or get done. And I'm not the guy to call. Let's go to call number 4.
Yep. This is Doug with PD Aerial Photography. I go out every day and I take photos of houses being built. We were talking about how to build houses. I'm willing to share some photos with you, show how they build photos here, or how they build houses down here. I do love down here in Shady Brook on the south side. I am taking photos of houses being built in Oak Brook or Oak Hollow in the village of Edenfield, and I'm able to show you the photos and anything else you need about how they're being built. Thank you.
Well, we'll cut that phone number out, but yeah, send me, if they're just photos, just email them to me. Emailing photos is pretty easy. I do it all the time. Videos is a little more different, but photos is very easy. And you can put a description down below every photo, explaining what they are, and then that'll give me something to go by if I make a video out of it. But I was down there 2 days ago, and was it 2 days ago? I'm working on that video now with Kevin. He picked me up in his golf cart, and we took a long golf cart ride from my house all the way down there. We went to Eastport, Middleton. We went by Ocala. I think that's the way you guys pronounce it. And then the golf courses, I went across Bexley Bridge. I've never been across it before. So we did a pretty good tour down there. At least part 1 is up on Patreon. Part 2 might be coming up soon. I don't know. I have to look. But anyway, yeah, I'll send them. I think the question was back then, somebody asked me if they still used the old style brick and mortar with stucco on the outside to build a lot of them homes. I said, yeah, I think that they still do that, but years ago they came out with this new way of doing it, new to here, not new way anywhere else. Indiana had been doing it for years, but it was new for here. It was a concrete wall type construction. I don't even know what you really call it. They bring them in on semi trucks, and then they pick them up like a stack of cards. And they stack them up, and they somehow fasten them all together. And the reason why they started doing that was because we couldn't get the building materials like wood and a lot of that plywood and things like that to build stick-built homes the way they used to because of COVID. And the materials just dried up. And so this was another way of doing it, because we have portable cement factories, I'll call them, here in the villages. When they move into an area, they set these things up. So all the concrete that they need is being made here. And they don't have very far to truck it from here to there, and then that's it. So that was another way of getting the materials made to start building these. And I didn't know if they were still doing it or not, because now that the materials are kind of relatively available now for everybody, I didn't know if they had dropped that idea. And somebody told me about different neighborhoods down there. Your area was probably one of them, that they were still building them, some of them anyway, that way. I was just kind of curious how they're holding up. If there have been any problems with homeowners that bought these, like are the windows leaking around the edges during a high storm? I don't know. I've never been in one. I've never been invited to go in one and look at it, because if I did, you know that I'm pretty critical. People have kind of stopped. I laugh a little bit. I think people's kind of stopped inviting me to come in their new home and look at it and do videos of it if I'd like to, because I've never turned anybody down unless I had that video already 2 or 3 times, and I just don't want to do it anymore. But they kind of quit because I critique. I used to be a master cabinet builder. I used to help build homes. I build a lot of stuff for myself, you know, so I know a little bit about construction. Not everything, but a little. And when I go through them, I mean, I just have this eye that I go, that don't look right, or look over here. But I don't want to say anything because I don't want to make anybody mad. But when I do a video and I'm kind of by myself, I just have a tendency to video what I'm talking about. And I don't like it, but I have it feel like I just have to point out things that I notice that are not correct. So when you buy a home, you don't need a home inspector to point these things out. You have a set of eyeballs, and I'm just showing you what to look for. And I think a lot of people take umbrage to that they think I'm picking on their house, and I'm not. I had problems with mine when I bought it. I got them straightened out like within the first week. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but I think some people have hurt feelings from that, and so they don't invite me over anymore. So if you're one of them, hey, sorry. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. So anyway, let's move on to another call.
My name is Mike Tran from Jackson, New Jersey. I'm watching your video, and I'm an ex-UPS driver, 26 years in Edison. I never heard anybody at a light, somebody runs into it, he got fired. And I don't believe it ever happened here. I used to run interstate with UPS, and I never heard anybody getting fired at a red light. So we should look into that. I'm sure he might get fired for a day, but he got his union would get his job back. So I'll watch your video next Saturday if you mention that.
All right. Thank you, brother. Fellow Teamster guy right there. There ain't no looking into it, sir, because I was there. It happened. It was a city driver. It was in the wintertime. It was shortly after UPS bought out and took over overnight freight. And it was a city guy. There was a lot of discrepancies back then, union versus non-union, so on and so forth. You've been there, you know what I'm talking about. And this guy was sitting at a red light and going into the Indianapolis terminal there. It's kind of a downhill over the Interstate 70. It's a little bit of a downhill before you get to the red light. And our driver was sitting there, and he has to turn left right there to go to our terminal. and somebody came over the hill, probably not paying attention, probably going too fast. Anyway, they hit their brakes, they slid on the snow and run into the back of the trailer. And he just got out and walked back there, and of course they called the police and they made a report and whatever. And of course, when you're required by your contract, you have to report that accident to your terminal manager. Well, at that time, UPS was telling us that any accident, because they have zero tolerance for any accident. As a matter of fact, we were educated at that time that there's no such thing as an accident. None. If there's an accident, you done something wrong. That was their policy. All of us were looking at each other going, what are they trying to say here? Because, there is accidents. He goes in, he turns the paperwork in to the terminal manager, and I don't know what happens shortly after that. I don't know if they have to call the police. I don't know what they do, because I never was involved in anything like that. But all I know is the guy was walking out. I was coming to work. I'm down there at the driver's room where they do logs and stuff, and now he's coming out, and he's mad. I said, what's going on? He said, he just fired me. For what? Because this guy'd been here for a long time. And he's telling us this story. And so I know it's a true story. So he calls the Teamsters, and they come in, and they go upstairs, and they're, doing whatever they do, threatening each other. And it took about a week, I think, before they reinstated this driver. But here was the deal. They would only let him come back to work if he would not file for back pay. That's the punishment. So the guy was probably making, say, $1,500, $1,600 a week back then. So he had to give up that back pay, even though he wasn't fired, I would say, legally, truthfully. He had to give that up to get his job back and start over. And I always thought that was reprehensible. Guys got families, got kids and things like that. They got car payments, house payments, and they're saying, okay, we'll let you come back to work, but you have to sign this paper saying that you will not file for your back pay. And that's how it ended up. Yeah, you can say the Teamsters did get his job back, but at what cost? So there you go.
Afternoon, Skip. This is Craig Morrison, the Medicare Guru. Hey, I had a quick question about YouTube in general, whether it be your channel or Ira's or Rizzo's or Jose's or anybody else. Would it help you all with the monetization if we went and watched through the whole ad instead of skipping? So in other words, when those ads come up and we have the ability to skip it after a few seconds, is it better off for you if we watch the entire ad for its entirety? Appreciate your feedback. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Craig. I appreciate that. October's coming up pretty quick, so when are you sliding by here for port setting or something to answer a few Medicare questions that I'm sure a lot of people's got? Craig is the Medicare guy. He calls himself a guru. I could call him the Medicare expert because he's just fantastically knowledgeable about Medicare, hospitals around here, and ratings and all that stuff. He just fascinatingly full of proper information that people sometimes need. YouTube. Well, I'll tell you, Craig, it's an issue with YouTube with me anymore. You never know what's going to happen. They change things constantly. And here's one of the little things that YouTube does. They change the rules at least once a year, and we don't know what they are. And nobody really knows what they are, because you're not going to convince me that every YouTuber out there reads the fine print on all these things that you have to sign every year and agree to it, or you can't post YouTube videos anymore. That's the deal. Here's our rules. Sign them and agree them, or you can't post YouTube members or YouTube videos anymore. I just don't like that concept at all. This is like I'm forced to agree to something I don't want to agree to, or I got to pay a penalty. That don't seem right to me. But they do that. It's called YouTube Upgrade, and they do it automatically. And we don't have a say-so about that either. And in the upgrades, they can change things, the letter of the law, so to speak, to whatever. Example. Years ago when I was doing WNL, Wednesday Night Live, that was us. And we did it for, I want to say about 3 years. And finally I quit doing it because it just didn't seem like it was going anywhere. And if it don't go anywhere, if it's not growing, then I just stop. You guys should know me by now. I'll just quit doing it and find something else. At that time, that channel depended for money. We depended on super chats. You out there, super chatting the videos or the show, especially live show. You have to do it during the live show. we were getting those, and they were okay. Nothing great, but they were okay. We were averaging, I don't know, anywhere from say 125 to sometimes $200 a show. And then we did the Children's Wish Foundation, which we would pick up. Geez, that one year we picked up, I think, close to $20,000 that we took down and handed it to them. I give it to them. I did video showing that they get the money. And so the super chat thing was a big deal. And then at that time, I think super chats, they were getting something like 30% of that. And yes, I know I could go in there and tell YouTube this is for, charity and so on and so forth, and they won't take out anything. Well, that's true, and it's not true if you really know what you're talking about. I wanted all my money to go to Children's Wish Foundation in Central Florida for the state of Florida, not for Timbuktu, California, or bumfucked Egypt out in Africa. I didn't want any of that. And you can't do that with YouTube. You just go down through there and you just got to put a check mark in whatever charity you want to do the show for. Well, if I do Children's Wish Charity right there, that's not got nothing to do with Florida. That's the headquarters, and we all know that in a lot of charity events, headquarter people, the president, vice president, whoever all these people are, they're the ones that gets like 90 cents out of every dollar, and I didn't want nothing to do with that. So I wanted it to go here, which means I can't do that the way that YouTube wants to do it. See, it's all about YouTube. It's the way they want to do it, not me. So my channel is my channel, and I do things my way. So we did what we did, and YouTube got their money, and I took the rest down there and give it to them. Well, then super chats and super stickers, YouTube was getting about 30%. So out of every $10 donated, we got 7 of it. But here's what I did to make things better for everybody. If you donated $10, I knew that YouTube's going to take 3 of that $10. I knew that. So whatever it was, Russ Romania and his wife kept records of everything. They're on the channel, but you can't see them. They're behind the scenes. They're writing stuff down. And I picked that up myself. I would, for $10, I threw in 3. For $100, I threw in 30. And at the end of it, they told me how much money I needed to throw in. And that's how we did it. I covered it. I never advertised it, never told anybody, but that's just exactly what I did. So there wouldn't be no arguing here, because there's always a certain people out there, the fact checkers, that say, hey, he got 20 grand, but I noticed on the video he only gave them 16. Where'd that other 4? You see, they do that. And I don't want nothing to do with that. And so that's why I did what I did. And so I put it in there. And no, I did not get receipts. And no, I did not try to write taxes off on it or anything. I felt good doing it, and that's just the way it was. Now, people are telling me, I don't know this for facts because I don't hardly ever get a super chat anymore. And that's fine because I've got members that I could count on. Super chats and super stickers you can't count on. Members you can, because it's every month. So somebody sent me an email about it. I want to know what my thoughts was on it. I didn't know they got this YouTube update. I want to know what my thoughts was about this new super chat thing. I said, I don't really have a thought on it because I don't even know what it is. I don't do it much anymore, and so I don't know. And then I got this email from somebody else. And they all have YouTube channels. I'm not mentioning names because I don't want to, cause a ruckus here. And I sent them the same thing. So, well, I don't know about it. I said, I don't even know what it is. I don't do it much anymore. And when I get a super chat, I appreciate the hell out of it. I do. I get, because that's something there I'm going to get. I don't know what, but I know I'm going to get it. Or I think I'm going to get it. I can get into that too. You really don't know if you're getting that money with YouTube, period. So he told me the same thing. And then another lady with the channel sent me the same thing. I got 3 people talk about the same thing. So I don't know. I haven't really investigated it. I can only assume if 3 major YouTube channels are sending me this, that it must be true. That they said that either YouTube is going to, or there's a date set where they're going to. The super chats are going to be an even split, 50-50. They're going to take half your money. See, that's, and you can't do anything about it. It's they're in total control of everything, and I just don't care for it. So that's why I'm kind of pushing Patreon on my channel. I do YouTube videos here and there. But I'll be honest with you, it's not a creative thing that I'm thinking about very often, because half of the people, well, 90% of the people watching this channel right now does not support this channel whatsoever. They don't have to anymore, because there's 50,000 other ones out here that started their own YouTube channel, and they do what they want to do, and And you could either like it and watch it or not. It's up to you. But I've been doing this longer than anybody here. You hear me? Anybody here. And I've been hacked twice now, and I'm getting a real kind of an attitude because they're backstabbers, and I don't like it. Watching the commercials all the way through, does that make you more money? Don't know, Craig. I mean, there's no way to know. You don't know anything. You don't know how much that commercial paid your channel. You could, oh yeah, they pay $1 for every 3 minutes. You don't know any of that. It's just numbers that they put on their website. That's like reading the newspaper on the internet. You don't know if any of that's really true. It's just something that they said. And YouTube the same way. They send you a check, let's say for $500. They deposit it in your account. $500. Maybe you had 700 coming. How do you know? Maybe you had 1,000 coming. How do you know? I guarantee you they're not going to send you 500 if you only had 200 coming. That's not even an argument. And that's been my complaint about YouTube all this time. And I can't even tell you how many emails to them. They've sent me answers back that usually mean nothing. It's usually AI answers. I'm sick of this AI thing already. I'm really sick of it because they just type whatever answers in there. It automatically sends you this back. You ever notice at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can go to a website where a car dealer sells cars or something like that. And then it says, have a live chat down here on the corner. And you get on there and you ask a question and an answer comes right back, and answer a question and an answer comes right back. You think these people are up at 3 o'clock in the morning? That's AI down there doing that. It's just a bunch of lies. And I don't trust any of it. So I am on the fence about all of this right now. But I am not on the fence about my Patreon. My YouTube members, I'm loyal to them. I do put stuff on there for just them and no commercials and all that kind of stuff. But be honest with you, because it's YouTube members, I don't trust it. I don't trust YouTube. I don't know that any of the members' money is actually getting into my bank account. They say it is, but I don't know that. Really? It isn't like they send you a thing at the end of the month saying, you got this amount of money coming from the commercial, you got this amount of money coming from your members, you got this amount of money coming from whatever. You don't get any of that. All you get is a thing on your email saying, a direct deposit was made into your bank account. Please go to your AdSense and check. That's what it says. That's it. That's all you got. And I don't know if any of it is correct or not. And if it ain't correct, how do I prove it? There's no way to prove it. I'm sure somebody out there is going to tell you all about it. I've been doing this way too long to listen to them. But thanks for your inquiry. See you real soon, Craig, for a port setting or something. Okay, I think that's going to be all the phone calls for today. I probably dug a hole big enough for me and everybody else to go in it. But hey, that's just the way I see things. If you don't like the way I see things, then you'll have to go somewhere else, because I don't know how else to do it but to tell you the way I see it, how I see it, and what I think about it. And then you can just take it or leave it, or pick out anything you want to about it and use it or remember it. That should be the big thing for me. Just remember what I said. And then later on, if something happens, then you always remember that I did mention something about that. So I'm just going to get out here and say, have a great time. Come to the villages, visit it. It's not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people. And go down to Eastport and check it out. I was down here the other day. I went to Porcello's twice now. I'm not a real fan. That's just me, because that place is jam-packed full of people. So my opinion is a minority opinion about that place. But I just didn't care for it. I even got the 2 hot dogs. Flavor of everything was great, but once again, they are so much liquid in everything they put in the hot dog, the salsa or whatever all that is. My bun was totally saturated with water, and I can't stand that. And so I'm not sure I'm ever going to go back, unless I get maybe a hamburger or something, because that other stuff just ain't for me. But it's a great place. Anyway, go visit it. You'll probably find something down there you like. And if you do, give me a call. Maybe I'll meet you somewhere and we'll have a beer and we'll talk about it. That being said, be well, stay safe, stay alert, be aware.
And don't leave that key in that golf cart.
And always remember, I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Skip, Jose's delivering a coffee. And by the way, you suck.
Hey, Skip, we got our coffee.
What?
You suck.
Hey, Skip, you suck.
By the way, Skip, you
suck.
Skip, you suck.
Skip, you suck.
Do it again.
Skip, you suck.
Point your finger and do it. Do it like you did. Do it like that. Do it like you mean it. Action.
Skip, you suck.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, Skip, you suck.
Big time.
Big time.
Hey, Skip, you suck.
It's because Skip, you suck.